Hey guys, what's going on? Jermaine Eric Wilson, Magic Perspective here tonight. Magic coming off a really tough loss last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. Tonight, they got the Denver Nuggets. So, I spoke to in the pregame press conference, heard from Coach Cliff, and he said once he had a moment to actually take a look at the film, the biggest thing he noticed was the 16 turnovers that stood out to him. Most of the points that happened last night came in transition. So, the things that he focused on today with the team, transition, of course, rebounding, which I've talked about since we started, and of course, turnovers. All the things that they were good at last year, they've just got to get back to where they were. MCW is still out, however, Mo Bamba is playing this evening, so I'm looking forward to seeing how his versatility and his size is going to play into this game. Switch it over to Coach Malone and the Denver Nuggets, and the one thing that he spoke about was the fact that the first 3 games that Denver played so far this season, their defense looked tremendous. These last 2 games, it slipped off a little, so he's hoping to get back to that. The Pelicans beat up on the Nuggets. The Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks, beat up on the Magic. So now these 2 teams are coming together tonight, and it's going to be very interesting to see which team comes out and performs to the level that we know then can be, because, not necessarily when you're backed into a corner, but how you respond coming off a loss, I think, is going to really dictate into how this team, how either one of these teams is going to fare moving on for the rest of the season. Look at the Magic. I look at this team and I know what they're capable of, as I'm sure most everybody does. 7 games in, it's going to be about the continuity. It's going to be about the rhythm. The one thing that Coach Malone said that I think was very apropos to this entire situation was the fact that he said, listen, you can appreciate what you did last year, but you can't rely on that to just automatically move you forward into the next season. You have got to continually go out there, get better at your game, hone your craft, and Coach Clifford echoed this same sentiment, what he said last night. The accountability of this team starts with him and starts with the best players in that locker room. So I think we're going to see that tonight when these 2 teams go head-to-head. Both of these teams looking to get back on the upward track and getting that win. Folks, I'll be back at halftime giving you my thoughts and analysis, and of course, post-game with the coach and the Magic players. With your man Eric Wilson, the Magic Perspective. Don't forget, I'll be posting all of the full interviews from both Coach Clifford and Coach Malone. I'll post the links on Facebook so you can watch them on YouTube. I'll talk to you guys at halftime. Happy Saturday. See you guys then. So what's going on, guys? Your man Eric Wilson, Magic Perspective here back at halftime, and right now the Magic have a nice little lead over the Denver Nuggets. But let's talk about what we saw. We know going into tonight these 2 teams were coming off a loss, so we were going to see which team was going to respond better. Clearly, in my opinion, is the Magic. The one thing that I spoke about in the pregame was focusing on the rebounds. Well, they've out-rebounded the Denver Nuggets 24-19. They brought the hustle, they brought the intensity, they brought the drive, and most importantly, they brought the energy. This crowd has been so into this game from start to finish. Vooch posting up his first 5 for 5. I mean, this man looks like the all-star that he is. Terrence Ross hitting a 3. Markelle Fultz coming off. Actually, Markelle Fultz in the starting rotation tonight, looking good, complimenting Isaac, Gordon, Vooch, and Evan Fournier. I am really, really curious to see what this second half is going to bring. Now, I take nothing away from the Denver Nuggets. They've come out and shown that they have a lot of versatility. But the one thing I will say to you, though, is Coach Clifford, what he has done tonight is he's keeping his guys fresh. He's doing a lot of substitutions in and out when needed. I like the fact that Aminu is out there tonight playing alongside Vooch. We saw Khem Birch for the last couple seconds of the game. But this team is coming off of a loss and showing you why they are a very resilient team. I'm looking forward again to seeing what the second half is going to bring. I'll be back at the end with post-game press conference, my thought and opinion, and as always, locker room interviews. But again, Magic are up over the Nuggets. Great game so far. Let's see what happens in the second half. I'll talk to you guys at the end of the night. See ya. What's going on, everybody? Man, Eric Wilson here, the Magic Perspective. Yeah, ending the night, and this is a tough loss. This is not like last night. This was a truly, truly tough loss for the Magic. 91-87, came down to the wire. You know, I said at the beginning, when I was doing the pregame, which team was going to come up and really show how they respond after a loss. And I think both teams did that tonight, because on one facet, the Denver Nuggets, this was a team who had been averaging 106 to 109 points, 91. That just showed the defense that the Orlando Magic brought to the table tonight. For me, rebounding. I mean, the Magic total rebounds, 47 to Denver's 41. So they worked on the things they needed to work on. They put the rhythm together. It's just putting that continuity out. Markelle Fultz now is probably going to be the starter for a little while, which means DJ Augustine's going to be running with that second unit, just adding another versatile guy and just being able to mix it up, if you will, and have the ability to put guys together to show and to really see what the best fit is going to be for this team. You know, it's early in the season, so I'm not going to sit here and say that this team is going to just kind of fizzle, because we know that's not going to happen. It's the beginning of the season, plenty of time, plenty of games, and as each game goes on and as the season progresses on, they are working on the things that they are going to work on, which is going to make them the #1 defensive team in the league like they were last season. I truly believe that. Offensively, at the end of the day, they've got to find the shots. Teams are able to look at tape now of this team, because you pretty much have the same cast of characters from last year, and they're able to see, okay, where do we need to be able to watch what's going to happen? We need to be able to see, you know, looking at these teams, where can the Magic find their points for good transition? Where can they find their points to get the open look? It's just going to take time. Next home game, I believe, is next Friday night, November 8th, so I'll be back then. Magic perspective. Everyone have a great Saturday night. Be safe, and we'll talk to you then. Have a great night.